What does $255 get you in 2023? Well, this.
Life goes so fast, I've been living so slow. Let's just leave, do whatever we want to. I don't want no regret, no rainy days.
Alright, a couple disclaimers before I start. I did source these parts off AliExpress and the used market, so it's not an all new build. However, at this price point, it's kinda expected. Secondly, because it's a budget PC, don't expect it to run games at 4K Ultra 120 FPS. The PC's job is just to run games at 1080p mid to low settings, dropping down to 720p on top to run AAA games. Finally, all prices are in CAD or Canadian dollars, so depending on where you live, you'll have to spend anywhere between $150 to $300. Anyways, let's get started. For the CPU, I went with the Intel Xeon E5 2650 V2. Despite its older age, it's still pretty competent in 2023, and for a budget build, it's a great start. It boasts 8 cores and 16 threads, with a base of 2.6 and a boost of 3.4 GHz. For just $6.77, it's pretty good for budget builds. For cooling, I went with the Scamdaz E1410 for just $26.79 after a $15 mail-in rebate. It fits our aesthetic and the price is also pretty good for a LGA 2011 cooler. For RAM, pick up any 16 gig kit of DDR3 for $20 or less. I got these cheap OEM sticks for just under $20, but if you can't find a similar deal in your area, I'll include some options off AliExpress. For the motherboard, I chose the Gaming Motherboard Premium Quality Professional Service Guaranteed. All jokes aside, this is a X79 G-A board for $47.06. It comes with an NVMe slot and even a front header USB 3 port. One downside though is that unlike the listing stated, it only came with a 3-pin DC fan header instead of a PWM 4-pin header. For storage, I picked up this NVMe 512GB SSD on sale from Kingspect for only $22.23. It's a budget drive, however, it works well and it's pretty fast. To power the system, just pick up any $20 to $30 power supply that's 430 watts or more. I personally picked up this Ultra HS 65080 Plus bronze unit for only $20. From what I've seen online, it's really not a great power supply, but it should be sufficient for a budget system like this. I would prefer a lower wattage power supply with a better tier rating on the PSU tier list. Something like the EVJ 450BR would be much better. However, this was the only thing I could find and would be more than sufficient for this budget system. Now, for graphics card, I picked up this RX 574 gig for $50 locally. It's actually pretty repeatable, and the RX 570 should perform well for a CPU, giving us pretty decent FPS. Just try to aim for one of the cards listed. For the case, I picked up this. Now, don't ask me what it's called because I honestly have no clue, but for the price, it's actually packing some pretty good features. It's rocking a tempered glass side panel and even has a RGB light strip at the front, and it only costed me $30. Yep, $30. It is lacking in the cable management area, however, for $30, it's a great case for flipping. For just $25.90, I bought this, a white power supply extension set from KuCat. They look pretty nice and the wiring's not too thin unlike other brands, and it helps with tying the aesthetic of the build together. Now that all the parts are out of the way, I'll cue a quick montage of me building and get to the benchmarks, some extras, and some final thoughts. So something to mention is that when originally making this parts list, I forgot to include a Molex or SATA to 5-volt ARGB adapter. It costs around $6 and allows the ARGB fan to work. Secondly, depending on the motherboard version you got, I personally got the version 1.1, you may have to buy one of these thermal fans to keep the noise levels down. As mentioned, this is a 3-pin DC fan header, so the stock fan does get pretty loud at max RPM. However, if you got a newer model with a 4-pin PWM header, you should be perfectly fine. Now, testing this computer in a variety of games, we actually got some pretty good performance. Esport games such as Valorant and CSGO hit 100 plus FPS on mid to low settings, and on a tougher to run game like Assassin's Creed, I'm getting almost a 60 FPS average with a 1% low of 34. Definitely usable for the casual and budget oriented gamer, but while it isn't the best gaming PC for $250, I think hits the criteria of something that most people can repeat. There are some downsides, mainly being the upgradability. Due to the older architecture, the upgrade path isn't amazing, but there's still a solid chunk of life left. At least 2-ish years, give or take. For the price, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It looks a lot better than I expected, and if you're interested in more budget builds, consider subscribing. Peace.